So, what happens when you cross a doll with artificial intelligence? Find out next. Coming right up. How's it going, fellow cinephiles? This is Dominic from Film Overload, the channel where we talk about movies, pop culture, and everything in between. And today, for me at least, kicked off the 2023 movie calendar. Today, I went to my local theater and I saw the newest horror movie, M3GAN, which is the newest film from Blumhouse Studios. And all I have to say about this one is I have some things to say. This movie is quite interesting, which I will get to in just a little bit, but overall I thought the movie was actually pretty well done. When I first heard of the movie M3GAN, I thought, really? Another doll movie? But that's the beautiful thing about Blumhouse Studios. They are always the underdog. They are never the favorite. They are always the underdog, and they always somehow deliver. This movie I thought was a really fun time in the cinema. I thought that this movie was quick. I thought it moved very well. The story is there. It's a very original story. I can see the comparison probably with movies like Child's Play. But I thought this movie was actually incredibly original, and I thought Blumhouse once again puts on another stellar performance through their ability to tell these somewhat unsettling stories with such a small budget. And I think Blumhouse once again comes up with a very interesting horror movie here. Like I previously just mentioned, Blumhouse does not take a lot of money to make these movies. In fact, that's what they're kind of known for at this point. They are an extremely low budget filmmaking company. They specialize in the horror genre. And they really do it well. And I think horror movies, they're really one of the only genres in Hollywood where you don't really need a lot of money to make an impact. That being on the likings of Halloween was not a lot of money. Saw was not a lot of money, and those have become staples in the horror genre. And I really think that M3GAN is a prime example. And another prime example of what Blumhouse specializes in is these low-budget horror movies that somehow stick with people, and M3GAN, again, is no surprise at all. The story, for the most part, is a pretty straightforward tale, but the movie, in my opinion, really thrives off of the environment that the movie creates right away. There is this almost unease right as the movie begins, and that uneasiness that you feel stays with you throughout the entire duration of the film. And I think the atmosphere that this movie takes place in is really the main highlight of this movie. I felt it can completely unsettle the entire movie, which I think is what Blumhouse was going for with this movie, and they succeeded. But it's the atmosphere really that really gets you. And through some clever writing and some clever storytelling as well, M3GAN really delivers on that creepy, almost eerie atmosphere. So shout outs to Blumhouse once again for creating yet another creepy experience. As far as lead characters go, I thought they were pretty well written. Allison Williams, once again, is in another horror movie, and I think the last time I saw her in a horror movie was Jordan Peele's Get Out. She has a very nice chemistry with Violet McGraw, who plays the little girl in this movie, her niece, so to speak, in this movie. And their chemistry is really good. They really sell the idea of the movie itself. They really represent what the movie is all about. They are a great pairing, and they had some really solid chemistry once again. And then you throw M3GAN into the mix, which I'll get to very soon here. But I thought these two characters were pretty well written and really serves as the backbone for the entire film. Okay, let's talk about the creepy doll. I'm just going to say this straight up. I've seen a lot of horror movies, a lot of horror villains, especially like dolls like that. M3GAN by far is, I think, one of the more intimidating doll characters that we've gotten in the genre. She is absolutely creepy and completely unsettling at some points throughout this movie. She is just eerie. She's ominous. You always wondered when she was going to strike next. And she just exuded this really dark, kind of like eerie, like it's true. She really gives off this really creepy type feeling that you feel while watching this movie. And through her interactions with the two main characters, it was just a really unsettling experience. But I actually enjoyed that aspect of this movie a lot through the eyes of the doll, through the eyes of M3GAN herself. And I think M3GAN, as a character herself, was really well written as well, and honestly just completely disturbing. Now, as far as gore goes, I can see why some people might have liked this movie to have been rated R. But for me personally, I really thought that this movie had just the right amount of thrills and chills and gore. There is some gore. There's not a lot of gore, which is what I think people were really wanting from this movie, but I don't think it needed to be overly gory. And I think that Blumhouse really had the perfect balance of both gore and chills in this movie. I thought that the kills were pretty solid. I thought there was a couple of jump scares that were pretty good in this movie as well. And I think pair that with the eerie tone and the eerie atmosphere of this film, and you really have a solid horror thriller on your hands here. I think this movie really delivered in terms of like the scare factor and just the uneasy factor. And again, I think that's really what Blumhouse was going for with this movie. So shout outs to them once again for delivering that creepy atmosphere. Overall, M3GAN, I think, is a great way to start the year of 2023. Usually studios release their not so great content in January and February, kind of just to like dump it out there so that people will forget all about it. But I think M3GAN really kickstarts the year off really well, and I think that it's a very good sign for the year to come. Hopefully, I'm really hoping we get some really solid movies this year compared to last year. Last year was such a drag to find really good content. Hopefully there is some good content this year compared to last year. So shout outs to Blumhouse once again for really kicking the year off with a bang, in my honest opinion. If you liked what you see here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and turn on the post notifications so that you guys can get notified every single time that I post a video. You can follow me on Letterboxd, which is right here. I post all of my movie reviews on Letterboxd, as it helps me keep track of movies that I have watched, I haven't watched, and movies that I will watch. And I think you guys would benefit greatly as well from this app and this website if you are indeed lovers of cinema like myself. As always, guys, happy movie watching. Take care.